You see what's happening in Portland, Oregon? It's anarchy in Portland, Oregon. Again, it's like Black Lives Matter summer. It's like the summer of love. They're taking over the ICE facility. They're taking over the federal building, or at least they're trying to. They encircled the damn thing. Who are all these Antifa people? How do they get by? How do they make ends meet? I don't have enough time to urinate, and these people find time to like spend all night out there. I mean, James, I'm too self-involved to get involved in something like that.
Well, yeah. Are you suggesting that, in other words, like they're getting paid somehow? I mean, people say that there's some sort of money that's keeping these
How
things
much
going.
money can you make? I mean, I don't think you can make. You know, this is drug money. This isn't. Can you really live on money as a protester?
I don't know about that, but I mean, maybe you'd go out and spend some time a night.
Whoa! Look at that lady.
Yeah,
she's upset at a guy wearing a MAGA hat. Well, look, I got to say this to my MAGA brethren. I'm getting a little sick of the videos. Like, I mean, look, when Charlie Kirk did it, it was awesome. It was great. It was the intellectualism, the power of his words, and the faith and everything. But just putting on a MAGA hat and going into a crowd of, anti-Israel protesters to see what happens. You know what I mean, James? It's a little bit like...
It's antagonistic. It's not something that's advancing the conversation.
Right. I mean, look at this. Oh, they said horrible things to me. Yeah, I know. They're horrible people.
But there's some people that's what they're trying to do. They want to create that sort of chaos so that their video goes viral and they make money off the different platforms. And obviously, Charlie Kirk was doing something much more dignified.
Well, sophisticated and dignified and interesting. I mean... I'm not questioning their motives. I just feel like it's a little bit late. I don't know. Look, the real enemy here are the Antifa people who are trying to wreck our society. Portland last night was just, this is an American city. It looks like Beirut in the 80s.
But isn't this just a random Thursday in Portland?
A random Thursday in Portland.
And it feels like this has been going on there for many years.
I think it's been ramped up. It's been kicked into overdrive. And because of the ICE raids, because of Democrat rhetoric, because of Jimmy Fallon and the rest, ICE has been misrepresented as this Nazi group or something, and it's totally unfair. Mm-hmm. You call people Nazis, then you dehumanize them, and then you make them targets. Look at the punching and the hitting. Yikes! Okay, the guy in the white shirt just punched a dude who looks like Fetterman in the shorts.
He does look like Fetterman. That's a good call.
And they just knocked him to the ground. Now, I don't know. I mean... Okay, I've seen fights before on the sidewalk, not recently. Do we have to make a federal case out of it? I guess so. The news cameras. I wonder if the news cameras went home. Well, then again, we all have a camera in our pocket, don't we? Mm-hmm. Right? Ooh, this went viral. I don't know, but I want it to end. I support law enforcement. I don't support, to a point, by the way, to a point. We don't work for those guys. We don't work for the generals. I got to say this about Hegseth. You guys know how I felt about Hegseth when he got appointed, right? When he was named. And I said what I had to say. I don't take any of it back. But now that he has the job, I can only evaluate what's coming out of that office, what's coming out of his mouth, the orders, the directives, and I love it all. I think I just think he's like the right man for the job. Everybody who says this meeting the other day was, how could he do that? How could he not do that? Last year, we had trans soldiers, hugging and kissing. We had the gay pride flag hanging off the back of an F-16. How do you change that culture? You don't change it by sending out an email. You got to get all of those generals in and read them the riot act a little bit. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, in essence, that whole event was sort of like throwing the gauntlet down in terms of who the leadership has been over the last, 20 years for the Pentagon.
Well, you'd be surprised how quickly you go from, like, how quickly you rise through the general ranks. You know what I mean? It's like you can go from being a 1-star general to a 4-star general in like 2 years, sometimes 3 years. It goes sometimes it goes very fast. And like a lot of those guys, believe it or not, when did we get out? Like a lot of the generals yesterday or on Tuesday, they weren't even generals when we got out of Afghanistan. Now, some of them were, but a lot of them weren't. And those guys do need a kick in the ass. And you know what? Sorry, but everybody has a boss, including the generals. And sometimes, your boss can kind of rip into you. Hey, we got to change things now.
What's a typical day like for a general in peacetime? Like somebody who's not actually actively in a war setting, what would they be doing?
That's a good question. I was not a general myself. I got out as a colonel, lieutenant colonel. But what it would look like is a hell of a lot of meetings, right? A lot of meetings, a lot of staff, a lot of briefings, and a fair amount of travel. But it wouldn't like. It's a good question. I mean, it would look, quite frankly, for the most part, like office work.
Yeah.
And a lot of conference rooms and a lot of dinners and stuff like that. And hopefully a lot of thinking, although we don't give these guys enough to. Sentencing for Sean Diddy Combs. You know, that guy shouldn't even be in jail right now. He should not be in jail. They want to throw the book at him because, they didn't convict him on the most serious
the trafficking
charges,
stuff,
right?
Yeah.
But it was like prostitution they got him on. Hey,
Correct.
I thought, isn't Zohran Mamdani, isn't he going to legalize sex work? We got to stop this guy. And Flippin', I don't know if you know this, but I think I just might have a way to stop him.
Mamdani?
Yep. Let's see here. The guy did not register for the draft when he should have. Did you register for the draft?
I did. Yeah, you have to.
We all had to register for the draft when we turned 18, and he didn't do that. Now,
was he a U.S. citizen at the time?
He was a green card, and the green card, you have to do that.
As a green card holder?
There are non-citizens in the U.S. military. A lot of folks don't know that. But listen to this. This is I don't know who the hell it is, but his name is David Savella. He's some sort of, well, let's just listen to him, because forget about who he is. Look at his findings. Cut 19, please. Cut 19.
So, Zohran, I'm speaking to you now. You know, and I know, you did not register for selective service as federal law required you to do when you turned age 18 as a green card holder, permanent resident of the United States. Zohran Mamdani has some questions to answer. Yesterday, I received his selective service records, which show that he did not register for selective service until January 17th, 2017, approximately 1 year before he applied for U.S. citizenship. This is extremely problematic because in order to be naturalized as a U.S. citizen, you have to be a permanent resident in good standing for at least 5 years. Zohran Mamdani was not. Zohran Mamdani was violating federal law by not registering for selective service. That is a federal offense punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Furthermore, Zohran somehow went from violating federal law to within 1 year becoming a United States citizen, and within a few years becoming a New York elected official when he was elected to the state assembly in 2020, even though within the 3 prior years he had committed a federal felony that still was prosecutable until 2022. There's a 5-year statute of limitations on the violation of failure to register for selective service.
All right, we
now
got to bust
Mamdani
him.
has to answer a few questions. Namely, among them, how did you become a United States citizen, Zohran? You weren't eligible according to the facts we have from selective service.
Hey, I think we should, right? Doesn't this blow the race wide open?
It's very interesting, but at the same time, what about the whole statute of limitations thing, like they said? You're saying it's still
politically
relevant.
Well, nothing seems to touch this guy that's politically relevant, right? Namely because the New York Times is afraid of him. They're afraid of their own readers, and if they give him a hard time, the readers go ballistic.
Yeah.
And then so the New York Times has shut down any critical coverage.